Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a topic, a tag inspiration from Abby Williamson. I just watched her video yesterday, and if you don't watch her channel you definitely should. I love her different conversations and her amazing makeup. So this video is basically like Instagram versus reality sort of tag conversation, or as she said, explain that gram. So I'm going to be going through my Instagram and just kind of sharing kind of the reality of what was happening in that moment, or the difference between what you see online versus the reality of it. So the first face shot on Instagram that I ever posted was this one, and it's just a like close-up face shot, and I'm sitting in front of my computer editing. And this was November 12th, 2015. I had posted a couple things before this, but this was the actual first picture of my face, so I just thought I would include it in this video. Nothing really in depth with this. I'm literally sitting at my computer editing, which is how I spend most of my time. So then we have this picture from November 21st, 2015. This is a hike. I love hiking. The behind the scenes of this, and I think I actually posted a bit of a video of it, is this was such an extremely windy day. I thought I was going to blow off the mountain. Like, it was that intense, and there was like this part of the trail where you have to go between these two rock formations, and if you don't go through the formation correctly, you are going to fall off the mountain. So you have to be very careful. And because the wind was like whipping through that area, it was terrifying. I still made it to the top of the mountain and in a beautiful lookout, but it was insane. So every time I see this picture or any of the footage, I think about like how terrified I was, because, you know, I like hiking, but I also don't want to blow off a mountain. You feel me? This picture is from December 25th, 2015. Shocking. Me at work on Christmas. This is from one of my previous jobs where I was there for several years. I was in management and I worked every holiday. All of the years I was at this job, I worked every single holiday. It was not a job or a company that gave people time off or anything like that, and especially since I was in charge of like various departments and whatnot, there was no way that I was going to get the holidays off. So this is another, picture of me in the break room at that job. That job taught me a lot, and I was really good at it, but it was good when I left it because of things like this, or, you know, it's a big deal with how employers treat their employees, and this was a very big deal at this particular job. So fast forward to January of 2016, when I had officially left that job and was doing new adventures for myself. This was like a big photo or post for me because I felt like myself again after an extended period of having so many rules and regulations within that job title. I brightened my red hair back up, I put my nails back on, fun red and black nails, and you know, I was just super excited for my new adventure, and I felt much more like me instead of like the confines of what I had to do for that particular position. So every time I see this hairstyle or these set of photos, I always think about basically like the salon day after officially being done with that job. So then we go to March 7th, 2016. This is in my old filming space. It's still weird to look at it because I'm in a new place, but this is like probably the first of the ladybug situation that I had in that space, and it's apparently they're supposed to be good luck, but I had a lot of different ladybugs. You can watch my blooper videos, and so many different ladybugs attacked me, but this is like the first one that like landed on me, and it's a whole thing, but it's definitely a memory that's going to be with me forever. And even like the last day that I was in that home, like I had a ladybug land on me and like tell me goodbye. So anytime I see like the ladybugs or anything like that, I think of that filming space and all of the different videos that I made for you guys during those years. So yeah, that's the behind the scenes of it. This is like a behind the scenes photo from April 3rd, 2016, where I was filming more of like a artsy creative video that's actually on this channel. Kind of, you could call it like a music video, but sometimes I just like to be creative with like film or photography, and this was one of those instances. So this is like the behind the scenes of me filming in my backyard, my old backyard, and I have this pretty white dress on, which I end up destroying because I put color all over it for the video. And I get soaked, like there's rain in the video and all that. I'll like link it below, but I like to get my creativity out in those different ways I have for many years. So this is just one of those cases where I filmed that and I actually shared it with you guys on this channel. So this picture is funny. Posted it on April 20th, 2016, 420 if you will, and I put like a pink filter over it because my nails were pink, and there was this specific person that like went off on me full on behind the scenes of this photo because the pink filter made my eyes look a little red, and so this person was like assuming that like I was high, which if I was, like, it's literally no one's business, but I don't like smoke weed but like it's really like no one's business. But this person like went after me that I was going to be filming a bunch of videos while I was high, and it was a bad influence for my channel or whatever this was. This person went off on me all because I put a pink filter on this photo. It was just supposed to be like a behind the scenes photo, and this person like had issues, like maybe they need to smoke a little or something because they needed to calm down a bit because it was literally a pink filter. So this picture is from the like first day that I full on started vlogging, and then, you know, I vlog every now and again for this channel, but this was like a hiking type trip. It was actually for my mom's birthday, the first like full-on day I started vlogging, and of course beautiful waterfall and everything like that. So every time I see this picture, I think about like how I started vlogging and sharing more footage and more things about my life with you guys, and of course the beautiful scenery behind me that I always love so much. So this is May 29th, 2016, and I included this because I feel like 2016 was like a bigger year for me because, you know, I had left that more of a negative situation within that job, and I was starting new adventures, and I was also trying to get more like accepting of myself, if that makes sense. This is one of those pictures where I was trying to be more body positive and embracing my curves and whatnot, and I was playing more with different types of makeup looks and not playing it safe and things like that. So I specifically bought some dresses that were more curve hugging, figure hugging if you will, and was trying to be more positive and embrace the curves if you will. And kind of to go with that, June 5th, 2016, this is just a picture of me in a sundress, but it's kind of a huge deal for me because ever since I was a child I've had skin conditions, specifically and primarily on my legs, but further now these days. So because of that, I have a lot of scarring on my legs. I still have like part of like the skin problems all on my legs, and so I never show my legs, like I never do. I am very specific, like where I go swimming, if I have to wear a swimsuit or things like that. And so this being more like open and accepting of myself and everything, I had worked really hard to try and clear my skin up on my legs, and so I actually wore this short summer dress like out in public, like not just in my backyard, like out in public, and I showed my legs off, and it was a huge deal. And like on the like outside, like, you know, people probably had no idea what a huge deal it was for me to actually be showing off my legs like that, but it definitely is, and it still kind of is today. Like I kind of have like the ups and downs with my skin, and I still don't always show my legs because it's just been engraved in me since I was a child. But this picture is like kind of radiating positivity for me personally because it was a very big moment. So this one is June 12th, 2016, which is my birthday, and I remember it being kind of like an up and down day. There was a couple things that didn't go as planned, so I was just trying to enjoy the scenery around me, like my favorite spot to be type of thing, but I was also, my heart was kind of heavy that day, and I always will remember being, you know, a little heavy that day because this was the year that the Pulse nightclub shooting had happened, like the same day, or like, you know, like the night before type of thing. And so my heart was just really heavy for that situation and, you know, those lost lives and everything. So it was a little interesting of a birthday, and it's like, it's in this beautiful scenery, and, you know, I'm smiling and I'm trying to enjoy the day, but I always think about like how my heart was like a little, you know, it was heavy that day thinking about that event. So sticking with the like body confidence and everything, like 2016 was really like that for me, and I don't know if I've stuck to it or not, but July 29th, 2016, it even says it in like the bio, more steps to my own body positivity, actually wearing and feeling comfortable in a normal swimsuit. If you follow me for a while, you might know that I have skin problems and confidence issues have been a struggle for me, but the last few months have been positive and confident. What a better way to celebrate than to break out the bat suit. And so this is literally just like a normal bathing suit that in the normal life I would not wear or definitely post to social media because of, you know, the curves aspect of my body and the scar or skin condition. So, you know, it's just a big deal to feel more body positive, if you will. This is like some shots from a lookbook. I loved sharing different like outfits, and I'm never like, it's never like I'm paid by a company or anything. I just like to show different fashion sense because sometimes I have kind of different takes on fashion throughout the different seasons. So this is like a fall one, and I kind of have like a mini little photo shoot by myself and film, you know, by myself, and these are super fun to film and to edit. It can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to switch in and out of the outfits, but it's still a lot of fun to create those type of things for you guys. This is December 21st of 2016, and my friend bought me an Ewok robe. He sent it to me, and it's like all big and fuzzy and comfortable, and I still have it, and it's just hilariously adorable, comfy, and perfectly fitting for a Star Wars geek like me. January 11th, 2017. This is more snow than I usually ever get, and so I ventured out and did like exploring just around the town, like walking through the snow, and I went and I hunted down a Starbucks and, you know, just played in the snow a little bit and found this nature spot that had the water in the background that was really pretty, and, you know, just kind of explored in the snow because I'm not usually a fan of snow, and I like hate driving in it or anything like that, but when we do get it, it is very pretty and it's rare. So this year and this moment I definitely took advantage of the snow because we so rarely actually get any snowflakes. So this March 31st, 2017, this is a funny behind the scenes story. I went out to a delicious little fancy dinner with my mom. We had like a girls' date and just enjoyed a meal and drinks together and everything, and it was fine. But whenever I look at this memory, this moment, I think of that night and into the next day. That night I started to not feel well, and then the next day I was in probably the worst pain that I've ever experienced, and I didn't understand like what it was, and it was a migraine. Basically now I know it was a migraine, and I don't get migraines. That's the only one I've ever gotten, and I was in so much excruciating pain. I couldn't walk, I couldn't stand up, I was laying in bed, like everything, my face was going numb, my down the side of my body was going numb, and I thought I was having a stroke, and I ended up going to the emergency room. And yeah, they did like CT scans on me and all that because it was so intense, and I had never had migraines before. They do run in my family, but I personally had never had one. So it was this big ordeal, and they like wanted to send me off to a specialist, and it became like a several month thing of checking back in on me because it kind of went away while I was at the hospital, and then it came back full force the next day, and I just kind of, you know, wrote it out because it was just so intense for me. And then I ended up having to go see a neurologist to make sure something else wasn't happening. They ended up switching around some of my medications, and it was huge. It was an intense moment, and I've never gotten one ever again, thank God. But it was scary, and I didn't like how much pain I was in, and my whole like body going numb and everything. But it's so funny because it started out as a nice dinner, and now like every time I see this, all I think about is that evening and the next day. So this is April 28th, 2017, and this is a new tattoo that I think I included in some like vlogs and stuff like that. It's this one right here, my little teasing Instagram picture of, you know, what's this on my arm, to, you know, tease the suspicion of what new tattoo that I had just gotten. This is the Carrie Fisher quote, "Stay afraid but do it anyway." So it was my third tattoo because I have the one on my wrist here, my heart, my half sleeve, and then this one was my third one. So obviously memorable when you get a new tattoo, at least it is for me. And then the next day I posted like a little mini photo shoot of what my tattoo looked like, and, you know, out in the spring weather and the flowers and everything, just to show it nice and fresh. And you know, all of my tattoos are very important to me, and this one is no different. This was preparation, or like the gathering for my grandmother's birthday, that she was having this little like party thing at this restaurant, and, you know, once more it was a big deal. I was showing my legs in, you know, just a brief way because the dress was long on the sides and then short in the front, and it like, for the average person that like literally means nothing, but for me it's like a huge deal when that happens because I feel so self-conscious of my scarring or how my skin looks or anything like that, particularly with my legs, but it's like spread now. But I'm getting to the point of not caring. But yeah, always just like a big deal. I think that's a big reason why I've always really wanted tattoos, because my skin in my eyes has always been quite ugly because of the skin problems and the scarring and things like that. And so I've always been so self-conscious of it that to put like an art piece on my, like for my arm for example, like it's like a pretty art piece in my eyes instead of, you know, something that I find to be not pretty. So this is a wedding day look, wedding photographer look. It's always fun to do different gatherings and things like that within photography, but weddings are like a lot of fun to do. Lots of pressure because you definitely, you know, you gotta get that shot. You can't like get it back. So it's a lot of pressure, but I still do enjoy shooting weddings, and this is one of those instances where, you know, I was a guest, but I was also the wedding photographer at the same time. Then it was a summer wedding, so it was pretty toasty. The chapel itself didn't have any sort of AC, so everyone was like a little toasty. And then the following day was like a reception thing, and it was a little bit better because it was like had some breeze to it, but whew. This is August 21st, 2017, and that's the eclipse, the 2017 eclipse that happened. I don't know, just like an artsy picture. I almost missed this eclipse. I was looking through welding glasses, not glasses, cap thing, and I was trying to get my mom to come outside to see it at the same time, and we like literally almost missed it. But yeah, so this is from that eclipse. This is from a little coast trip as well, and I absolutely love these pants. They're like shorts, but then they have like the long lacy material over it, so it's like a way for me to like show off my legs but not show off my legs, if you catch my drift. But I was like back to feeling like super self-conscious with different things, and I had a girl like comment on my outfit like when I was wearing this, and I think she intended it to maybe be nice, but it came off as like really snotty, and so I just did not feel good afterwards. And I was, I think maybe that's why I did these pictures or something, to try and get more happy, because I thought it was a cute outfit and everything, and the snotty girl like hurt my feelings. This is a hike that was important too, because it was along the coastline, and I hadn't been able to go hiking because my favorite area to film, to hike in and film in and photograph, this is September 2017, my favorite areas were on fire. Massive fire, and to this day they're still trying to fix some of the trails, and the damage is still there because like it had hit so much of the wildlife and the trails and all those things. So it was like bittersweet for me because I was in a different area to hike, and I love hiking, but then at the same time, like, thinking of like your favorite locations to go and hike being on fire and being destroyed is like devastating. Like, that's why like the Australia stuff right now like is like breaking my heart, and I have to like choose how much of it I take in from news outlets because it makes me like sick to my stomach. This is just a Christmas photo in my old filming space, and nothing really probably very special about this. It's like from behind the scenes filming. I usually take moments to take selfies in between filming videos. It's always going to be weird to look back at different holiday photos because things in my life have so drastically changed now. So anytime I see things like that, it's a little weird, but just a little Christmas memory. This isn't a modern picture of me by any means, but it was January 27th, 2018, and it was the day my grandfather passed away, and it was a huge deal. This is a picture of him and me as a baby, and it was like a huge moment in my life because I had lost loved ones before, but not as an adult, and I was so very much involved in this process. I was there when he passed away. I was hugely a part of the funeral arrangements and everything like that, so it's like a huge moment and spot in my life. So anytime I see like a picture like this, or even like a picture of him or things like that, it definitely reminds me of that turning point as an adult compared to like when you lose someone as a child. It's very different. And this picture is when I came back after my grandfather died. I took a break from social media, from filming, from posting, probably one of my longer breaks. I'd taken some breaks depending on past jobs when I was really busy with work, but this one, like, I was fully dedicated to the funeral arrangements or my family or time for me. So this was like the first picture like back of like, hello, I'm still alive and I'm going to be like working to film again, because filming and creating stuff for me is very therapeutic. A lot of people like say that like I shouldn't just be like work too much, but I usually am better off when I'm like working or creating something artistic instead of just like sitting in my thoughts. So, and then speaking of artistic, a little like mini photo shoot for myself. Sometimes I have ideas for photo shoots, and like offhand I don't have a friend or a model to do them, so sometimes I'll just like photograph myself. And this was the same with, I had these lights that I wanted to use and some different effects I wanted to do for a little mini photo shoot. So I posted a couple in March 2018 here of myself with different looks with the lights and the more intense eye makeup and things like that, just to be creative and whatnot, and I shared those with you guys. This is a picture at my previous job that I more recently left. Unfortunately, it was a fun place to work, and I was definitely more appreciated at that location than the previous ones. Unfortunately, like, the position wasn't going to be there anymore. But yeah, this is just selfie at work, and It was also another good like learning experience for me, like work-wise, because I was doing my experience from like my management position was obviously very important, and even my filming and photography work that I do was important here, but I learned different set of skills, you could say. And anytime like I'm in more of a not full-on customer service job, but you're working more with the public, you could say, my confidence goes up, oddly enough, because I'm like more used to speaking in front of large groups and things like that. So I think that like helped peak it for me personally with that position. This is where I like went super red again in my hair. My hair has been like within the red tones for so long. Like I have the black into red into like lighter orange right now, which is like my fiery, you know, look. But I love red hair, like all sorts of red hair. This one looks like, you know, like Barbara Gordon red hair type of thing, but I love different variations of red hair. So this is where it like really started to go like pop. And then speaking of hair, this picture is literally just like a behind the scenes picture from filming, but I always go back and reference it because I love this wig so much, and someday I will have this hair color. I've always wanted like teal or blue hair, but I hear it's like a pain in the ass to like keep the color in. So maybe I'll just stick to the wig, but I love this wig so much, and I'll probably film in it more because I love the color and like against my skin tone and everything. So it's like inspiration for future hair colors. This is a picture from June 26, 2018. After my birthday, I did a cabin mountain trip, little mini vacation that I did. And so this was like the hiking within that trip, and it was a big hike. Had to cross a river, you know, it was pouring on us part of the time, but then like their sky opened up for like a beautiful photo like this. And I love my little hiking memories and the different various locations. At this spot, a butterfly actually landed on my foot on my like hiking shoe, right in this little spot while I was taking a break, which was like super cool, and I love moments like that, and I got a picture of it too. But yeah, so this is just another hike, like a birthday hike if you will, because I escaped into the mountains for a little bit. This was showing off that my hair, still bright red there, was long enough to put into Hoth braids like Princess Leia. And it still is. It still is. This is the longest I've ever had my hair. Most of the time I chop it off when you hit summer because it's too hot out. But I haven't chopped it off. Obviously I've trimmed it, but this is the longest I've ever had it, especially when you straighten it. So I can do a lot more styles, and one was like doing the braids up over for like a crown type thing, but I always call it Hoth hair because, you know, gotta get those Leia vibes in there. Having fun with photography and like being my own model again. These were from 4th of July, but I didn't post them. I think I posted them like later into July, but I had like these different colored smoke bombs and I wanted to do something artistic with it. So I did like a whole photo shoot of the different colors of smoke bombs and like different positions for myself, and just something to be creative, and I shared those with you guys. I like my little photo shoots. This is when I went to the symphony to see the symphony play along with New Hope. So they were playing John Williams music, and I was Princess Leia inspired, as you can probably guess. Like throne room Princess Leia inspired. Now the behind the scenes of this is quite sad because I had a really good time and I loved seeing the orchestra play along with the movie, but I got so sick. So sick. I was very ill. I think I was dehydrated, potentially. I don't know what was up, but I was not doing well at a point, and I'm in this long dress and I'm trying not to fall because like at the symphony it's like the seats are like this up and like you look down and you get vertigo, and I wasn't feeling well already. So at one point during the movie, like I went to the bathroom to try and calm myself down because I didn't know if I was gonna throw up. I didn't know what the case was, but I was feeling so sick and I was so disappointed because I wanted to see as much as I could. You could still hear the symphony and hear the movie playing, and since since I know that movie by heart, it was like okay. And I calmed myself down, like I drank some water, like put some water on my face and calmed. But that was like the behind the scenes of that night, is I literally got myself so sick. I really think I was dehydrated. Like I didn't drink enough water and I was just excited for the show, and then in turn it made me really sick. But I calmed down and enjoyed the rest of the movie, the rest of the symphony, and was okay. So this is probably one of my favorite Halloween costumes that I did, and I got to dress up at work. Was super cool. Like everyone at work dressed up. I'm not used to that because so many of the other places I worked at have like been like, no, you can't do anything. But this was my Beetlejuice inspired look, like a female Beetlejuice, and I just kind of did my own thing with it. I had a lot of fun. It was so much fun, and so I had to take like a bunch of pictures in costume, and I got a bunch of compliments at work. It's a really good Halloween costume. I included this picture because Abby, the girl that inspired this video, had a voting picture for hers, and I have one on my Instagram as well, just, you know, shelling people to vote and that I had just voted and things of that nature. So I figured I would include it in this one too. Back towards the coast, I swear I don't go that often, but my Instagram would, you know, reality versus versus Instagram. I was definitely channeling the like Coven, American Horror Story Coven vibes. I had my big hat, my sunglasses, darker clothes, red lip, you know, just rocking out the American Horror Story Coven vibes on this trip apparently. And the same trip, like November 2018, I got to go and see a different lighthouse, which is cool. Like from a photography standpoint, I took so many pictures. I'd love to visit more lighthouses because I think they're just really cool to look at. I'd love to do like a photo shoot at a lighthouse, but I'd have to like bring a model and everything because it's difficult to do a photo shoot of yourself when other people are there, because then it feels like everyone's looking at you and my confidence can't take that. But I love lighthouses, so this was a fun one to visit. Going into the Christmas of that year, 2018, my mom and I stumbled upon a umbrella parade. That's the behind the scenes of this picture, and we were just going shopping in this little town and we came across an umbrella parade, and it was like this Christmas thing with people decorated their umbrellas, and there was music and like hot chocolate and everything, and it was like this like fun, I think it was December 1st, I think it was, so like the first day of Vlogmas for that year, and it was like a very Merry Christmas to the start of that year. These pictures are from my best friend's bachelorette party, and which was in December of 2018. It was a really fun night. I can say that this is the only night where I have been close to being drunk, because I'm not really a big drinker, but at one point I stood up and like the room kind of went like that, and I was like, oh, okay, this is happening. Like this is happening. But I got to spend a lot of time with the bride, my best friend, and a couple other of her friends, and it was just a really like positive and fun night for her with the people that were around, and it's a really good memory. And then going to her wedding day, which apparently this is my wedding photographer top, because I had this on earlier too. I love this top though, but I was her wedding photographer as well. I got to capture all of her beautiful moments, which is very important to me. Sometimes I'm not in a lot of the photos, but I try to do like some selfies, or like a couple people take some of us, so I was witness that I was there. But I love capturing those moments for people I care about. This is like a behind the scenes of a photography day, once more just exploring different new locations, and I was with a group that day of little ones and family and everything, so I had like my camera and all that, feeling all photographer-esque, and this spot had about 1 million photographers. So apparently it's a very popular location for photographers in the Pacific Northwest, because there were photo shoots going. I think there was like a good 4 maternity shoots going on, a couple senior photos, and some family photos. It was insane. Like, and then you're like trying to dodge people's photos so you don't screw up their photo. At least that's what I do. Like if I see someone, I'll be like, oh, let me get out of the background so you don't have to edit me out in post. Back to sharing more of my like fashion sense and different like lookbooks, or just, you know, to Instagram. I'm gonna have to figure out where I'll film or shoot those in my new backyard come spring, because this is like the old one, so gonna rework some things. This I included because it still blows me away. Someone had mentioned that this was my doppelganger, and it's an old film actress, Barbara Stanwyck, and I'd never heard of her before. And I googled her, and like, I think I look like her. Like, I see it. Like, I see that, like, this is my doppelganger, because I've never really thought that I had a celebrity doppelganger. I get people telling me on YouTube all the time that I look like this person or this person, but I've never seen the connection before. And like, I completely see that we definitely have similar faces, so maybe she's a long-lost relative. And we're into like April 2019, and like this picture is like mood, and this is when shit starts to go down. Like, behind the scenes, let me just tell you, these moments are the most difficult of my entire life. Behind the scenes. So a mood with resting bitch face and sunglasses would be greatly appropriate. Anytime stress starts to happen or anything like that, I try to escape into nature and things like that. So this is just like a hiking trip that was on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Got my Leia NR2 shirt on. And yeah, I just try to escape into different things like that and try to have a system reset for myself. This picture is when I got my helix piercing up here. I had just got it done, and besides that, I just have like the ones down here in my lobe. So this was like the first like cartilage piercing that I had gotten, so I had to document that, of course, you see. This picture is another one that it was specifically made after I did like an update video, like for this channel, this crazy thing called Life, and it was just like me talking about briefly the craziness that was starting to appear in my life, and I had no idea how much more crazy it was gonna get, believe me. As we go into some of these pictures, for me personally, and I don't know if my viewers or you guys or anything noticed, but for me, when I look at these pictures, there's something a little off in my eyes, because I was under so much stress and there were so many things happening. So, you know, you can smile for Instagram, but the reality is that there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and sometimes my eyes can be, you know, they can reveal the truth. This seems to be like genuinely happy. We added more red back into my hair with the orange, and I'm like feeling like the Barbara vibes and everything, and it's so funny that like like how much fun I have with my hair, and like now even with like the black at the top and everything, it's just, I don't know, I like red hair. I always have. I don't know what I would do if I went back to brown, or if I would be able to rock it or not, because that's my natural hair color. This is my last birthday in June. Once again, went to see waterfalls and beautifulness, because that is what I do, and ignore the crazy that was my life and try and escape into, you know, that for a little bit. Here's like a long summer dress, which is a big thing for me in the summer. I love long summer dresses, and I actually used to get made fun of for wearing long dresses and long skirts when I was in school. People would make fun of me. So it used to like make me uncomfortable, or I would be, you know, whatever, but like as an adult, a teenager into adult, like I haven't really cared. And if I want to wear a long dress or a long skirt, I will, and I think they're more comfortable for summer when it's hot out, so included one of these. And then, you know, there's the moments where maybe I have confidence boosts where I can show off the curves a little bit more, because I feel like that 2016 was really my year of like body positivity, and then it's kind of gone down again, and I gotta work back up to it, maybe, as all of us do in the ups and downs of life, you see. But this was a cute outfit for work. This is rocking my merch, my Calming Escape merch. This one specifically is the mug, obviously, but there's like a mug, totes, pillows, sweatshirts, t-shirts, tank tops, all of those things. You should go get some merch. Go get merch. But yeah, this was like me doing a coffee with Cass to show off my merch and just chat with you guys. It was also because my hair getting so long, I really started doing the braids a lot this like last year or so. This is a cheesy happy smile that I had to include because the behind the scenes of it, or the reality of it, is when I hit 50K subscribers on Calming Escape, which has been a goal, a dream for so many years for me. So it was kind of a big deal when I hit this. So had to snap a picture, had to thank you all of those type of things. No makeup selfie, which, you know, is doable when my skin is behaving. Back with the sad eyes, in my opinion. I don't know, I feel like that is the reality for me with some of these pictures. You might think that I look pretty, and it's not that I don't think I do, but I just feel like there's something a little off in the facial expression. I think it's that stress coming through and whatnot. And even like for this, I knew this was like intense time. I was house hunting and I was trying to figure out where I was going to be living, and there was a time crunch and there was so much happening within some of these pictures, within these months of time and everything. It was a lot. It's a lot. And some of these pictures I feel like it definitely shows through. Here we have a coast one. I swear I don't go to the coast that often, but my friend and I went to Corgi Beach Day. So I was taking pictures of all the corgis. There was the events, there was all these things that we were doing for Corgi Beach Day. It started pouring. Well, it was fine in the morning. We got there early, had breakfast, and then it started pouring before the event actually started. And then once we were prepared for the event, it stopped raining all of a sudden, and then it was sunny. So it was like bipolar weather. And within all the stress of my life around the end of August, you know, I gotta surround yourself with tacos, not negativity. And those are words to live by. Words to live by. Gotta get into the don't give a fuck attitude, maybe. So this picture was at a family gathering near a restaurant that had this beautiful wooded area, so I had to, you know, go take some selfies. But the behind the scenes of this picture is quite big, because this is actually the day that I got the house and I was receiving the keys for my new house. So the happiness is definitely there, out of limbo, which was, I was stuck in limbo for so many months and everything. This was a huge day. The behind the scenes, the reality of this picture is not just a pretty picture in the woods or a family dinner or anything. It was a huge deal because I got my keys that day. And then of course I posted the official, you know, holding the key picture a few days later after it sunk in and all that jazz. But yeah, to introduce my new house, that I had a place and I wasn't going to live out on the street or something. And I don't know, it was a happy moment for me, very big deal, so I had to share that key moment with my social. And the reality of it is that I was very happy, and it was a very proud and extremely happy moment. And so began the work on my new house, and it's still going, but coffee helps me keep going, and I had lovely people send me coffee gift cards to keep me going, because I'm doing so much renovation and, you know, just the unpacking and moving in general, which is still happening. Anyone that tells you it's going to happen super fast is a liar, because it takes a lot to do everything, whether it be renovations or unpacking, all that stuff. It's still going, so keep that in mind if you move. And continuing to move, the moving process, this is a happy smiley picture, but I'm probably smiling through the pain because I was so sore throughout moving. My skin was acting up like crazy. I was in excruciating pain throughout the moving process. At some points I had to physically sit down because my legs were in so much pain, my skin was in so much pain that it was making my legs go weak, I couldn't stand. And then I'm carrying boxes, I'm carrying furniture, and it was intense. So this is definitely one of those happy moments where it's getting more stuff in the house, but the behind the scenes it was a pain in the ass, and I have no interest in moving ever again. Here we have another hair picture, which is kind of similar to what I have now. This is more fresh. This was the day at the salon where we did the fire look, which I've been looking at and seeing these pictures on Instagram and all these social media of the fire hair with the black fade into red, orange, and yellow, and so we went for it. And I love it so much. We're probably gonna freshen it up again. I really like the dark at the top and then into the red, keeping the red, and then the lighter at the ends and everything, but but this was a fun day. You take a break from the stress and the drama of your life and just have a fun salon day. And this picture was like kind of, you know, all said and done, moved in. The moving process was done, not the unpacking, not the work to the house, but, you know, that I was in the home now and I was still like going through so much and everything, but it was almost like a sigh of relief picture for me when I see this, because it's like, yeah, we had all the things moved in, but it's still so much work to do, but at least I'm not in limbo. That's what I think of when I see this picture. And then we go into my Disneyland pictures, which my Disneyland trip with my best friend was like one of the best experiences of my life. We had so much fun. It was just like incredible. I mean, I got to stand under the Millennium Falcon, I got to just take so many different pictures. This is a California Adventure, the Haunted Mansion. So many pictures. We got a picture with Chewbacca, which was an amazing moment. I like love that moment so much, but I got to sit at the table on the Falcon. It was just everything was so fun about that Disneyland trip. It was so much fun. So of course I had to share those on Instagram, and the reality of it was a lot of fucking fun. And then we go to Christmas, which was Christmas was a little different this year because of everything that's happened behind the scenes, and that's the reality of the Instagram. You know, look pretty in front of the Christmas tree, but you know, a lot of stuff's going on, which I think is the reality with a lot of people. A little different, not bad, not, you know, not horrible, just different. What's that line from? And then, you know, the same with New Year's. We will leave this video off with New Year's, where I stayed home and watched the ball drop, and I don't ever really go out. And so I rocked, you know, the Santa hat, the sunglasses, you know, a glass of wine, my sparkly, you know, lights and all that jazz, and just, you know, I didn't choose the party life, it chose me. Alright, lovelies, I hope that you guys enjoyed kind of this, you know, Instagram versus reality, or explain the gram. If you guys would like to do this video, I would love to see your guys' versions as well. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.